The next 2 weeks on Days of Our Lives, airing September 1st through September 12th, promise to be a roller coaster of celebration, heartbreak, and chilling revelations. While Salem gathers for J.J. Devereaux's birthday party, Marlena Evans is haunted by nightmares that may foreshadow a dangerous decline in her health. Jack and Jennifer return to town, bringing nostalgia and conflict, while Brady Black continues pressing for justice, unaware that Kristen DiMera is making a devastating sacrifice. Secrets, lies, and shocking twists collide as friendships are tested, romances heat up, and the teens of Salem U step into the spotlight. Let's dive deep into everything the preview reveals, piece by piece, and uncover what it could mean for the weeks ahead. The next 2 weeks begin on a surprisingly warm note as Aaron Green makes his long-awaited return to Salem. Kat and Felicity practically glow with excitement, organizing a small homecoming bash to welcome him back. It's a simple scene, family gathered, laughter shared, but in Salem, even moments of joy carry an undercurrent of foreshadowing. Aaron's arrival is more than just a happy reunion. It marks the beginning of his own chapter in Salem, a chance to step out of the shadows and find his place in the turbulent web of relationships and rivalries that define the town. And almost immediately, fate throws him into a situation that could alter his path. Aaron crosses paths with Ariana Horton, and the setup is anything but ordinary. Spoilers suggest Ariana will end up stuck with Aaron, whether that means literally trapped in a classroom mishap, forced to partner with him on a Salem U project, or bound by some awkward twist of circumstance. At first, sparks fly in the form of irritation and frustration. But underneath, there's a different kind of spark, the one that hints at chemistry neither of them expected. For Ari, the situation is complicated. She's young, determined, and used to being independent, but Aaron unsettles her in ways she can't explain. For Aaron, this could be his chance to forge an identity outside of his family's drama. But Salem has a way of twisting innocent beginnings into tangled messes. If this is the start of a romance, expect jealousy, secrets, and interference from rivals who won't stand aside quietly. Aaron's return feels lighthearted now. But it may be the first domino in a chain of Salem teen drama that explodes into full-blown chaos. While the younger generation navigates awkward sparks, the adults face stakes that cut far deeper. Brady Black is growing more suspicious by the day. His gut tells him Sophia's story doesn't add up, and when he seeks confirmation from the supposed adoption attorney, his worst fears are validated. The lawyer has no record, no memory, and no involvement with Tate's adoption. In other words, Sophia has been lying. For Brady, the revelation is earth-shattering. All this time, he's been trying to steady his family, to be a father Tate can rely on. Now, the foundation beneath him begins to crack. If Sophia invented this entire narrative, what else has she been hiding? And how deep does this deception go? Sophia, sensing the walls closing in, panics. Her mask of control slips, and she rushes to Melinda Trask, pleading for damage control. But even Salem's shrewd district attorney may be reaching her limits. How many lies can she bury before the truth explodes? Sophia's desperation is telling. She's no longer scheming confidently, she's fighting to keep from drowning. The gender slip, referring to the baby as he instead of she, becomes the emblem of her unraveling. It's a single word, but in soap opera logic, a single word can topple dynasties. Brady latches onto it, replaying every interaction, every conversation, searching for more cracks. What makes this storyline so compelling is the emotional fallout. If Brady shares his doubts with Tate, it could strengthen their bond through honesty, or devastate Tate if he learns his entire history has been built on a lie. And with Steve Johnson now teaming up with Brady, the investigation accelerates. Each new clue brings them closer to unraveling the truth about Tesoro, a truth that could change lives forever. Meanwhile, Salem's matriarch, Marlena Evans, faces a battle not in the courtroom or boardroom, but in the shadows of her own mind. Sleep, which should offer rest, instead brings torment. Night after night, she's plagued by visions of her past as the infamous Queen of the Night. In these dreams, she relives moments of danger, manipulation, and power, images so vivid they blur the line between memory and hallucination. The nightmares leave Marlena shaken. These aren't ordinary bad dreams, they feel like warnings. She wakes with a sense of dread, as though something dark is reaching for her from beyond. Is her subconscious signaling an unseen threat? Or is this a symptom of something far more sinister, perhaps a medical crisis silently brewing? Haunted, Marlena turns to Belle Black, confiding in her daughter with rare vulnerability. Belle listens with compassion but can't ignore the unease gnawing at her. Something is wrong, and when fainting spells begin to accompany the nightmares, the fear intensifies. This isn't just emotional trauma, something physical may be at play. The possibility is terrifying. Salem has seen Marlena endure everything from demonic possession to kidnappings to brainwashing. She has always survived, but this feels different. This is internal, inescapable, and deeply personal. For her family, the uncertainty is agonizing. They can't protect her from a nightmare, and they can't fight an enemy they can't see. As her health declines, the question looms larger. Is Marlena being haunted by her past, suffering a hidden illness, or facing something even darker that Salem can't yet comprehend? Whatever the cause, Marlena's storyline is shaping up to be one of the most chilling arcs in weeks, a descent into a mystery that could shake Salem to its core. The corporate battlefield of Titan Demera has always been a nest of rivalries, grudges, and hidden agendas. This week, that tension explodes into something far more personal. Xander Kyriakis, who's been working through his anger issues in sessions with Marlena, finds himself tested in a very real and dangerous way. During a tense moment at Titan, Philip Kyriakis suddenly collapses, choking violently. Everyone freezes, except Xander. Without hesitation, he rushes forward, wraps his arms around Philip, and executes the Heimlich maneuver. Seconds tick like hours until, finally, the obstruction clears. Philip breathes again, alive because of the very cousin he's often accused of being untrustworthy. To onlookers, Xander is a hero. To Xander himself, it feels like proof he can rise above his past. But Salem is never so simple. Rumors swirl that Philip may have staged the entire ordeal, using his own life as bait to test Xander's loyalty. If true, the act is cruel, manipulative, and emblematic of the twisted power games that define the Kyriakis legacy. Meanwhile, Gabby Hernandez keeps pulling strings of her own. The bug she planted in Xander's office is now delivering sensitive intel to Tony Demera. Tony demands results, hungry to know what secrets Gabby has uncovered. The danger here is razor sharp. If Gabby stumbles onto the wrong information, she could blow apart not just Titan, but also fragile alliances across Salem. For Xander, this is the crossroads. Can he convince Salem that he's capable of real heroism, or will Philip and Gabby's schemes drag him back into suspicion? In a city built on betrayals, trust is the rarest currency of all, and Xander's balance is running dangerously low. From corporate games, the spotlight shifts to family, though in Salem, family is often just another battlefield. Jack and Jennifer Devereaux return to town for JJ's birthday, a celebration that instantly fills Julie Williams with pride and joy. For a brief, golden moment, the Horton home feels whole again. Laughter echoes, memories are shared, and fans are reminded of the legacy bonds that have carried days of our lives through generations. But even in moments of happiness, shadows linger. Jack crosses paths with Gwen von Leuschner, and what follows is one of the week's most emotional confrontations. Jack extends an invitation to the party, a gesture meant to heal old wounds. Gwen's reaction is sharp and defensive. She refuses, pointing out the obvious: why would she attend a gathering filled with people who despise her? Yet Jack doesn't waver. His words cut through her bitterness. He doesn't hate her. Beneath all the betrayal and anger, she is still his daughter. Jack's voice carries both regret and hope, a father yearning to salvage even a shred of connection. For Gwen, the invitation stings. Part of her wants to lash out, to remind Jack of every wound between them. But another part, buried deep beneath layers of pain, aches for the acceptance she's always chased. Spoilers warn this fragile progress won't last. Something, whether an external scandal or Gwen's own destructive impulses, will blow the moment apart. And that's the tragedy of this family. Every time healing feels possible, something rips the scars open again. In the courtroom, Salem witnesses a reckoning years in the making. Kristen DiMera stands before the judge, her entire future hanging by a thread. The silence is heavy, broken only when Brady Black rises to his feet. His voice is cold, sharp, and merciless. Give her the maximum sentence allowable by law. For Brady, it's more than justice. It's vengeance, closure, and a desperate attempt to protect his family from Kristen's chaos once and for all. He wants her locked away, far from Salem, far from Rachel, far from him. But what Brady doesn't see is the sacrifice hidden in Kristen's silence. She could fight. She could beg. Instead, she accepts the weight of punishment, not for herself, but for Rachel Black. Every day behind bars is a shield, protecting her daughter from the truth, from secrets too dangerous for a child to carry. Yet Rachel feels the loss keenly. Watching her mother disappear into prison walls triggers wounds she can't name. Memories of the shooting begin to resurface, jagged and terrifying. Confusion twists into anger, and anger into rebellion. Spoilers suggest Rachel may lash out recklessly, her grief fueling dangerous behavior that could spiral beyond anyone's control. This is the cruel irony. Kristen's sacrifice, meant to protect Rachel, may instead fracture her. Brady believes he's won justice, but he may have unknowingly unleashed a storm of trauma that could haunt their daughter for years. The courtroom verdict is not the end of Kristen's story, it's the beginning of Salem's next chapter of heartbreak. Because when it comes to the DiMeras, punishment never ends in silence. It always echoes. As the teens return to Salem U, new rivalries ignite. Sophia Choi redoubles her sabotage against Tate and Holly, determined to manipulate situations in her favor. College life should bring freedom, but for Salem's next generation, it only multiplies the opportunities for betrayal. Meanwhile, Kat Green steps into dangerous territory as EJ's new assistant. She's determined to uncover dirt on him, but Chad grows increasingly concerned. Kat's ambition could put her directly in EJ's crosshairs, and in Salem, curiosity often turns lethal. Back at home, Marlena's health deteriorates further. Her nightmares intensify, her fainting spells increase, and no doctor has answers. Her family, once hopeful, now faces growing dread. Is this a medical mystery? A psychological relapse? Or could something supernatural once again be haunting Salem's beloved matriarch? So there you have it. The next 2 weeks on Days of Our Lives will deliver everything fans crave: family reunions, shocking confessions, twisted schemes, and chilling nightmares. JJ's birthday promises joy, but Gwen's bitterness casts shadows. Marlena's dreams hint at danger, while Brady and Steve inch closer to unraveling Sophia's adoption lie. And in court, Kristen's fate collides with Rachel's trauma, leaving Salem bracing for fallout. Which storyline grabs your attention most? Marlena's haunting decline, Kristen's maximum sentence, or the new sparks flying at Salem U? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Days of Our Lives breakdowns every week.